So I'm going to check in, and I'm going to go first to Miss Corres and check in with her. Remember, you're always allowed to say pass. Miss Corres, how are you doing? A thumbs up.
I'm doing well. My mute. I'm hungry.
Hungry. Okay. Miss Baltzis, how are you doing?
Awesome. Amazing.
Mr. Williams, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Thank you. Miss Johnson, how are you doing?
Amazing. Amazing.
Thank you for that. Miss Harris, how are you doing?
Good.
Mr. Echeverria, how are you doing?
Really good.
Miss Dixon, how are you doing?
Awesome.
Mr. Lanier, how are you doing? He says he's doing good. The next round, I'm going to read from my script. I invite you to share all or some of what you have written in your journal. Please feel free to read what you have written or tell us about it. Let's start with, now normally I would start with Ms. Corres, but I really want to make this student-centric, so I'm actually going to start with Mr. Williams, if that's okay. Mr. Williams, can you please read a little bit or share whatever you wrote in your journal if you feel comfortable?
Yeah. So I wrote that the hardest thing about living in Chicago is finding where you can make the biggest impact, and also finding the correct support system for making an impact. Because as an artist, it's hard to find your footing in this city when this is a large city that's full of potential.
Thank you so much for sharing. Let's go ahead and go to Miss Johnson. Miss Johnson.
I said, in my opinion, the hardest part about living in Chicago is mostly the fear of losing your life before you can really live. It's always about protecting yourself from as much as you possibly can.
Thank you so much. That's really well spoken. Let's go to Ms. Harris now. Ms. Harris, can you share?
I said I think the hardest part about living in Chicago, especially right now, is being a student. There are almost 400,000 students in CPS, and there are so many different inequities between neighborhood and the way schools are funded, and resources that certain students may have that others may not have. So I think that with our educational system being so large and being in a pandemic, it's possible that if you don't have something that you need to learn, that you may not get it at all.
That gets 2 snaps. Thank you so much for sharing. Mr. Echeverria, can you please share? If you're also welcome to say pass.
I just said that it's just more difficult, and it's like less safer out there, and I just said that.
Good, well spoken. Thank you. Mr. Lanier, can you please share or say pass? Okay, Mr. Lanier said pass. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to my handy-dandy script. Now that you have heard each person share their thoughts, is there anything you would like to say about what you have heard others say? Do any new thoughts or ideas come up for you about this work after listening to everyone? Please feel free to share more about what you wrote or think as well. So, I guess I'll go first because I really responded well to what Mr. Williams said about being an artist and just being able to find the right place to get help. And, it's really frustrating because I think Chicago has a lot of great resources for everybody, but we don't know how to get the word out to people if they need help. So I really responded to what Mr. Williams was saying. I'm a little confused now what to do because we're truly not in the circle. So I'm just going to go and just do a roll call and do it that way. In my screen right now, I've got Alexis in the upper left-hand corner. So I'm going to just call on Alexis. Alexis, did you want to share anything about what you heard just now? I'm going to take radio silence as he's okay. Ms. Harris, did you want to share anything about all the comments that you've heard?
Alicia and
Alicia.
I really appreciate what Gabby said, or Gabrielle. I think that that is a sad reality, but I think it also connects to the different resources in Chicago public schools. Because, of course, we grow up in different neighborhoods, different areas, and some students may be more scared for their life by where they live versus other students may not. So I didn't think about. I was able to think about how those two ideas connected.
Thank you. That's powerful. Ms. Johnson, would you like to comment on anything you've heard?
I can kind of connect like Elijah's and Alicia's because Deja, I'm gonna need you to be quiet. I'm sorry, y'all, but I can connect the two because there are a lot of inequities between students and their needs, as well as just the need for creative output at the same time.
Thank you. Mr. Williams, is there anything you want to share about what you've heard from everyone?
I can really relate to the points that Alicia was making about like how certain students how we have different levels of inequalities and like the resources that are given to certain students that aren't given to a large variety of other students. And I really like that because it resonates with me personally, because it always it's like that lingering thought in the back of your mind, like, if these people can have these resources and if they can find these resources with ease, why am I not able to find these resources?
Thank you. That's really a good point. Mr. Lanier, would you want to comment on anything that anyone said? I think he's okay. I'm going to make the assumption he's okay. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my script. And the next thing I want to do is check out how the circle went. Alexis, are you feeling okay? And how do you think the circle went? He says he's okay. Wait, that was from 1052. Mr. Echeverria, how are you doing right now?
I'm doing okay, and it was great.
Great. Ms. Harris, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, and it was good.
Thank you. Ms. Johnson, how are you doing?
I'm doing really good, and I enjoy this.
Thank you. Mr. Williams, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine, and I think this was a good first go.
Thank you. Mr. Lanier, how are you doing? Sincere? Okay, I want to thank you all. Normally we'd have some kind of ritual closing, but since this isn't like a regular thing for us, we haven't developed that ritual yet. But I really appreciate you guys engaging in this reflection circle. Thank you so much. Ms. Corres, I'll pass it back to you.